Hi, this week I want to talk to us about discerning our God-given relationships. Let's read Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14 from the Passion Translation. The Bible says, "In every relationship, be swift to choose peace over competition and run swiftly towards holiness, for those who are not holy will not see the Lord." Now, you see, relationships are very important in bringing to pass the plans and purposes of God for our lives. This is the mode of operation of the favor of God in a man's life. I've heard some believers say, without a man, God can do whatever he wants to do in my life. Now, this is not exactly true, because God uses men through relationships to establish his purposes. This is the same reason that Jesus was born of a woman. He was raised in the house of Joseph. You know, Jesus had 12 disciples. Even when he died, he needed a man to carry his body and bury it in the tomb. So Jesus didn't succeed without relationships. Most believers miss it when they fail to discern the reason for the relationships in their lives. Now, to discern actually means to perceive, to see. It means to recognize, to apprehend. So have you ever asked God, what is the place, for example, what is the place of my pastors in my life? Or why am I working with this person at this particular point in time? When you ask such questions, you're discerning. And if you discern your relationships, you will find out that most times the reason for the relationships in your life goes beyond just the immediate surface value and remunerations that they bring. Our text says to choose peace over competition in relationship. Now, stop competing with people you should be complimenting or even learning from. Scripture says to run towards holiness in that relationship. Now, by holiness, what Scripture is talking about is conduct. Because holiness means to conduct yourself in a manner befitting of that relationship in order to see the purpose of that relationship coming to pass in your life. So when you discern rightly, the truth is that you will act rightly. And when you act rightly, you will get the right results. In 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 1 all the way to 19, the story is told about Naaman, the commander of the army of Syria, who had taken a girl captive from Israel to serve as a slave in his house. It was the same girl, not some doctors or some big person, that God used to point him to the prophet Elisha, whom God used to cure him of his leprosy. So you see, your greatest needs and solutions do not always come in your biggest contact or relationship. The question is, what if Naaman hadn't spared that girl and treated her with kindness? You know, concerning David, the Bible says in 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 5, that David went out wherever Saul sent him, and that David behaved wisely. And the Bible says that Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people and also in the sight of Saul's servants. So despite the fact that David killed Goliath and he became a national hero, David knew how to behave himself in the court of the king. It was the favor of God that brought him into the king's court, and he was able to wisely discern his relationship with the king. His conduct led to his promotion. He was set over the men of war, and he was accepted. He was favored. He saw God in his military career, so to say. So it was also in the court of King Saul that David would get to learn the mannerisms and ethics that befits royalty, since God had also destined him one day to be king also. So despite the fact that David was anointed by the prophet Samuel, despite the fact that he killed Goliath, David didn't see it as a reason to compete with the king for the throne. Rather, he pursued peace and holiness. He conducted himself in the right way, and he saw God manifest in his life. Even when he had the opportunity to kill Saul, he refused to kill Saul, because he was able to discern the purpose of that relationship in his life. So as the favor of God brings you into various relationships, I want you to begin to ask him for wisdom to handle those relationships wisely, because the way you discern a relationship determines how you act, and the way you act will determine the ultimate results that you get. So to see God manifest in your relationship, you have to act holy. You have to conduct yourself properly as befitting that relationship. Well, my name is Pastor Arome Tokula, and it's such a joy to be able to speak a word into your life this week. I want you to know that you're blessed and you're highly favored of God. Do have a blessed week. I love you.